Right, we're back at it again. Now it's on to the Silver Cup, Captain JJ back on the helm, and if this thing wakes up, we're going to Octoman. Now if you're wondering why my thing is on there, I tried a warm-up run and it didn't go very well. So anyway, Octoman is part of our minion. These episodes are being covered 14 through the 26th this time around. 14 through the 26th this time around. Octoman's first notable appearance in this particular quarter of the anime is in episode number 15 when he's on the receiving end of Pico making his entrance into the fray. As Pico was on a job for Zuda. Was hired to do a job for Zuda. Again. Just like he did in episode 10, I believe. And it didn't go well. They were trying to smuggle things in Port Town using Kate Anna's concert as a barrack, as a cover-up. That's for what they were doing. But that didn't work out, unfortunately. As it's clear that the mobile platoon's drop was onto them. Galaxy Police Federation, more like, actually, according to the Cardi references. Yeah, I need to have more speed in this. And more energy if I'm going to get through this section. That's alright. So yeah, 15 didn't go particularly well for them. As Butt Monkey would have been as we very mentioned. Quite a few fell off. But that's none of my concern. On to G-Trace now. And then his next appearance happened in episode 17, when a lot of classic cars got stolen. And it turned out Octoman was behind it all. Doctor. And he was only doing the cars to pay back his debt to Zudo again. So he spent all his time trying to steal these classic cars. But Ryu, who was on his day off at that point, caught wind of all this. Because of well, he's a 21st century guy at heart, really, isn't he, Ryu's attack? Not playing this one particularly well, am I? I'm getting through it now. So, effectively speaking, Octoman was stealing cars for money to pay off Zuda's debt. It's going to caught wind of it and use that to her advantage. So that's why he had to stash the tyre. And of course, Octoman is because he's a 23rd century driver instead of a 21st century driver like Ryu's attack is. He was never comfortable with that, with the fact he had to do things with tyres on instead of anti-gravity. But there you go. He eventually went to the Deep Claw, and unfortunately it didn't go very well for him. Because not only did he fail to get the stolen cars, he also got beaten by View, who was driving his own car with tyres and all that. And he did a very good job of it too. He only makes a sort of like a cameo appearance machine-wise in episode 19. He makes no appearances in 18. Oh, Beasterman. Jeez. I never knew the Beastman could be so, I mean, I'm not even a beast. That's Pyrex you've got to be fearful of if you want to be that one. McCloud. Yep, that's alright, that's good. Mind you, it wasn't this lap I failed on in this blooper reel. It was the third and final lap I failed on. So anyway, Misfloat is not the best track here. You've got to really keep your momentum up, otherwise you are going to be going backwards down the field very quickly. So he's really attacking a little bit too hard here. There we go, this is much better. Oh. Would have been better if I hadn't few items. But anyway, no appearances in number 18. He makes a cameo appearance in episode 19. It's very minor though, but it happens during the race with Gumeshio in it. And so yeah, that's really about it now. And then the infamous episode 21 episode, he makes his appearance along with Byrex, the infamous women's race which happened in that episode. And he wanted to, because Zulu sent them in there to find out what this killer was up to. In fact, she was trying to bump off all her fellow racists because she's a villain and didn't do a very good job on it. Because you don't kidnap Samurai Ghoul's wife and expect the whole cavalry to come and try and find her, along with all the other women, which include Kay Annan and Mrs. Arrow. So yeah, that's what happened there. I then realised that they couldn't beat her, meant they had to get Zura into play. And Zura famously went for the Sailor Zura outfit. And I say Sailor Zura because he dressed up. As mentioned before, he was dressed up like a Sailor Sensei, otherwise known as Sailor Moon, and he even did the poses for bonus points. I mean, come on, it's not like it's one of the most popular animes in the world at that point. Oh, it lasted for 5 years, from 92 to 97. Jeez. I mean, if I send up if I have too much knowledge, I must be thinking I might have been a fan. Nah. Neutral on that one. Neutral on that front. Yeah, not ideal, but okay then. That's perfectly acceptable, that one. No appearances in 22 for those two because of, well, there were major problems with the warp game, so not much you could have done there. There was no point of Optiman appearing in that particular episode. His next appearance would be a minor 1 in 23 as one of the machines which tracked View towards the latter part of the episode. Which unfortunately, because which would have worked, but it didn't account for the fact that View is that used a spin booster for the very first time in race trim. A tactic taught him by Captain Falcon from episode 20. When they were trying to repair the warp gate in a successful attempt to repair the warp gate. So, yeah, that didn't go very well, and that meant the Skull didn't win. But yeah, that one went well. I took Gusta and the idea. Now it's inside out. So, and then comes episode number 24, which is his character episode. Bye bye Jodie Summer. So episode 24 is his character special. It's his character episode, as we call it. Shows him in a new light because his people come along to the Earth to witness him in action in the Grand Prix, where he does tell a few porkies though, in order to win their favour. Yeah, I think that was Bloodhawk, that one. And to be honest, I don't really care if it was or not. He's just an inferior clone. He's not really too much of a threat here. And for some reason, his people bought the porkies, awarded him with a few things, but it was because of the amount of people in there. His bill was massive because he was paying it all. He was paying for it all, which put him in more debt. Which meant winning the Grand Prix, which would be happening later on, was an absolute necessity. Was an absolute necessity in order for him to pay everything off. I've never done that before in my life. So, right a minute, let's try now everything that happened. Let's go again on this track. Honestly, that was just so idiotic. That's one for the real. I've never done that before in my life. Oh, go away, will you? Well, everybody just... well, everyone just go away for 5 minutes, please, while I can just get this thing started. Oh, dear me. This is what happens when you're an absolute clown and then fly off the track. So 24 was his character episode. So that point really, after going back to the second lap. Anyway, this track isn't a hard one. It was just the fact I took it a little bit too tightly. That's all. And so should learn not to do it again. This is going to add quite a significant amount of time, however, to my final run, unfortunately. This is looking much better though. Whoop. Was looking much better until I missed that dead play. Anyway, this is looking much better. And by the time the race came about, he was in massive problems because of his porkies and his debt. So he had to win the race. And Rizzuto needed to win the race as well. This wasn't a particularly great time for any one of the Dark Minion players because Rizzuto himself had a fire under his arse after what happened a few episodes ago. And he needed to win because of the amount of failures he had. So there was so much to lose for both people. Rizzuto, on the other hand, had a lot to lose because if he lost, he'd be under Black Shadow's wrath again. And if Optiman lost, he couldn't pay the debts. So as the time of the race came about, though, both of them really wanted to win. For the reasons which I aforementioned. But anyway, it's time for silence now. This track is a long one, but I do actually like this track. It's where you really can get the speed up here. You really get your speed up here, you can really stretch your legs in. And it's a track which I really enjoy. Yeah, I got that one pretty spot on there, actually. In the early stages, not much changes. Dark Minion was ahead of the Galaxy Police, which had John Tanaka entering the race for the first time in the series. Tanaka, though, really predominantly known as the second in command of the whole squad. Because of, for reasons which I shall not mention. Okay, I didn't quite have the right dive angle there, but it was good. Avoided it well. And then when the race got into its latter stages, Optiman was in no mood to obey Zuda's orders. And in the midst of it, instead of wanting to take the win, he forgot to refill his energy with 2 laps to go, and he crawled to a virtual hell. right in front of his fan club. Fortunately, he was able to get his energy back and he was able to get back into it, but he was so far behind, and then everybody crashed on the final lap. So he was able to take the win. Just like I did there. And to further insult to Zuda's injury, so Optiman did exactly as he said he would. He paid off everybody. He paid off his debts. Paid for the entirety of the trip for so go on. No, actually, he didn't pay his debt off to Zuda. That's a white lie. But he paid off everything for the trip of his fellow people, and he gave whatever was remaining to them. And so they spent it all. So they spent all their money on souvenirs that you could take, which included the Eiffel Tower, for goodness sake. And I am ironically saying grilled octopus is delicious. So the Takarons are octopus, humanoid octopuses. So there is a hint of irony in there, and then Ottoman had the rougher Zuda because of the fact that he used all the money to pay off everything except Zuda's debt, which landed Zuda into more hot water, and then we all knew what happened in that. Anyway, third place, Blood Falcon with the Bloodhawk. Second place, the Skull with Sonic Phantom. And last but not least, Octoman and Deep Claw as the winner. An all Dark Minion top 3 there. That looks like 17 for some reason, but I don't know why. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that like, hit the notification bell. You know exactly what you need to do if you enjoyed it. Thanks very much. I'll be doing Golden Fox next, and I'll catch you in a bit.